What's up, guys? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more of our videos. Also, make sure you follow us all over social media so you don't miss any of our content or show announcements. Let's talk Pistons-Knicks. So I thought the Pistons showed a lot of why they're a tough matchup for the Knicks for the first 3 quarters of this game. Cade doing some nice playmaking out of action, attacking Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. All of the Pistons role players played well. Tobias Harris was great. Tim Hardaway Jr. was great. Malik Beasley was great. Those guys combined for 64 points. There was a Dennis Schroeder layup driving past Karl-Anthony Towns in a little slot ISO off the left wing that put the Pistons up 98-90. And the Pistons did not score again until they were down 13 points. The Knicks just completely blitzed them. Brunson found a matchup that he really liked in the half court, which was Tobias Harris, and he was doing a lot of really good work against him, just kind of semi-transition attacks to get him where he's jumping to one side and hitting him with crossover moves. He was able to beat him with a regular crossover move in the half court to get inside position on him. He was doing a lot of quality work against Tobias Harris there down the stretch, which is a little note to file away for the inevitable, it's game 4, 2-1, 5 minutes left, game's tied. That's a matchup that I think the Knicks feel good about, is Brunson going after Tobias Harris. Campaign was great in that run. He actually started the run with a little crossover, one of his patented left-to-right crossovers into a scooping layup. He hit 2 massive threes to rescue possessions, one off of an offensive rebound, one off of a crazy step-back move at the end of the shot clock. Then the Knicks started forcing turnovers. OG Anunoby forced a turnover on Cade in the post. There was another turnover they forced on Cade on a baseline out of bounds. Cat forced a turnover on a high post entry where he jumped it and they were able to get out in transition. And that's when the Knicks are at their best, right? That defensive transition stuff. And literally in just that brief stretch, that brief little 21-0 run, they completely erased everything else that happened in that game. And then the Knicks are coasting to an easy win. Like what looked like a textbook, the road team steals game 1 type of thing, turned into a 1-0 lead for New York with just that brief stretch of basketball. I thought the Knicks guarded Cade Cunningham really well all game. One of the things I talked about in the series preview is that I expected the Knicks coaching staff to look at the tape and to see that OG Anunoby was a better option to guard Cade Cunningham, and that's what they did. We talked a lot in the regular season about how Mikal Bridges was just not big enough in terms of his base to stop Cade from being comfortable fighting for spots. And that's really the key. That's what OG does as a bigger, stronger player guarding Cade. There's so many different examples, just fighting for position. And as Cade's trying to seal and create a passing angle, he's trying to seal and create a passing angle against a guy who's actually bigger and stronger than him instead of a guy that he's bigger and stronger than, right? The last post up that Cade had against OG where he turned it over, he tried to swing through with his right shoulder and power up through OG with his right shoulder. And when he does that to most defensive players that guard him, he's so big and strong that he's just blowing through that player and getting to where he wants to for his little right shoulder fadeaway. Not OG. OG's holding his ground. He's having trouble fighting up through there to get a shot. He turns the basketball over, just making him uncomfortable. That's the thing. When we talk about shot result, the number one thing you can do to make any star or role player shoot below their season averages or below their career averages or however you want to look at it is to make them uncomfortable. Take the little things that they do in games that come second nature and make them a chore. You want to catch the ball coming off of an Iverson cut off of a screen at the high post. Well, I'm going to fight you like hell until you get the ball. And by the time you get it, there's going to be 11 seconds on the shot clock and you're going to be exhausted. That's the type of work, that's the type of value that comes from having size and strength fighting you off of position. Someone that Cade can't dislodge. I thought that was a really smart game plan thing from the Knicks. Cat made a couple of huge defensive plays late in the game after having some troubles in earlier phases of the game. He had a couple plays where, Cade split him in pick and roll, or he just got caught out in space and struggled to contain the ball. But he made 2 massive plays during that run. A rotation back to the basket where he forced Jalen Duren into a miss on a catch layup where he was out of position behind the play, sprinted back and had a nice contest. He was the one who forced the turnover on the high post entry, just with his just physical pressure, like a 3-quarter front kind of thing. He was great. Just, again, shout out to the Knicks. They turned what could have been easily a stolen game 1 into an early series lead. And I thought that was a encouraging note to that Brunson found a matchup that he really liked there down the stretch. On the Pistons front, I talked all season long, or all series, excuse me. It's been a long day. I've been watching basketball since 10 a.m. In the season preview pod, I talked about how NBA history tells us that the Detroit Pistons usually lose this series because of the fact that they are just unfamiliar with this setting, specifically Cade, right? And honestly, that was really the big thing that stood out in crunch time. Like, Cade was badly outplayed during the run. There was some variant stuff, right? Like, I thought Malik Beasley and Tim Hardaway Jr. both got fantastic above the break 3-point looks that just didn't go in during the run. Malik had a movement 3 going to his right off of a screen where he got plenty of separation that he happened to miss. Like, Duren missing that shot on Cat, that's a shot we all know he can make. Like, there were shots that they missed during that run, but the bottom line is that, like, a lot of that was off of chaos. Like, Tim Hardaway Jr.'s 3 was on an offensive rebound. Malik Beasley's was on an offensive rebound. Like, there's the actual shot creation piece. Cade looked sloppy. Why is he trying to post OG Anunoby down the stretch of the game? Jalen Brunson wasn't trying to attack Asar Thompson if he could help it. He's getting a favorable matchup and trying to find a place to go to work. Cade attacking the best perimeter defender on the team in crunch time, that's a decision mistake. He was the guy who made the really sloppy inbounds pass on the baseline out of bounds. And that's the difference, right? Like, as things were kind of rounding into form down the stretch, Jalen Brunson kind of figured out how he wanted to attack, and Cade kind of like was decomposing a little bit. Now, again, that's to be expected. He's young. This is playoff basketball, super hard, right? And like, it's just relevant within the scope of this series. In this series, you're going against Jalen Brunson, who for 2 years now has led his team through multiple playoff rounds and is pretty comfortable in this setting. And it's just something new that Cade is dealing with. I did think Isaiah Stewart looked better than Jalen Duren tonight, but Duren ended up getting 6 more minutes, and they were closing with Duren during the run. And Duren just, there's several things. He's a little bit late on some of his short roll reads. His finishing can be tricky. He can struggle to guard Cat in space. Like, Isaiah Stewart has his own issues, but I think I would go with him a little bit more than JB Bickerstaff went with Duren. And then I did like Dennis Schroeder on Jalen Brunson. I thought that was a matchup that they could look to try to give a little bit more attention to. Schroeder played 26 minutes. It's not so much that you can scale that up so much, but like, I even thought just down the stretch when Asar and Dennis were out there, they went to Asar on Brunson, and like, Dennis just pisses him off. Like, it's not so much that Asar is not a better defender. Of course Asar is. Asar is one of the best perimeter defense prospects I've ever watched, but like, Dennis just has like a little bit of like a anticipatory, like he knows how to guard Brunson a little bit. And I think that I would lean on that a little bit more. I'd have every minute that Schroeder's on the floor, I'd have him guarding Brunson and just trying to piss him off.